Cubans went to the polls to vote on municipal elections to elect their representatives in the local government bodies. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro highlighted the importance of the dialogues with the opposition groups for the future of the nation. And several Chinese regions present the adjustment plan of some COVID measures at the request of the national government. From the headquarters of TeleSUR English in Havana, Cuba, this is From the South. I'm your anchor, Gladys Quesada, and these are the news. Cubans went to the polls on Sunday to vote on municipal elections to elect their representatives in the local government bodies. According to Dennis Buero, the member of the National Electoral College, the authorities registered 63.85% turnout. Polling stations opened at 7 a.m. local time and closed at 6 p.m. local time to receive citizens who were already lining up to vote from early hours. As reported by the National Electoral Council, for this day, authorities enabled 20,000 polling stations. This is the first voting to take place after the restructuring of the electoral system in the country, which removed 85 constituencies. The Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel Bermúdez emphasized the importance of this election as sound evidence that the island maintains political stability, according to his words.
The process ratifies that Cuba maintains its political stability, maintains its social stability regardless of the intense economic battle with which they are trying to suffocate the population, so that because of discontent, hopelessness, the burden of all the shortages, citizens will yearn for social explosion that the imperialist government is after, which is to apply the imperialist logics against Cuba, and that this is reinforced with the campaign of discredit, especially in social networks and large media. The fact that we are doing this today shows that Cuba continues on its way. It follows an uninterrupted way.
The Cuban president also recalled the responsibility of citizens in this electoral process to improve socialist democracy in Cuba.
It is a civil responsibility because we are electing our representatives in the governmental bodies of the municipality, which is the main government structure we have in the country. This is very coherent with what we have been doing in recent years to improve socialist democracy within Commander-in-Chief's concept of popular power, and that we are increasingly articulating the mechanisms through which the people participate. Decisions are made on the basis of proposal, of the opinions, of popular debate. The government structures where the representatives of the people are, which are precisely the ones that we're electing today, address and approve the development programs based also on those priorities of the people. All that returns to the communities. The communities then participate, implementing what they themselves propose and have been approved by their representative bodies, and also participate in the popular control.
Cuba's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bruno Rodriguez Parrilla, stressed the importance of these elections, saying they are a civic expression in favor of furthering popular power, which is the power of the people.
It is a moment of unity, of civic involvement, an instance of true participatory democracy, as it was recently the case with the referendum on the Family Code. It is also a timely election because it allows an expression in favor of furthering popular power, which is the power of the people in favor of the country's institutions, of the socialist state of law and social justice.
Also, Cuba's Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez Parrilla made reference to the role of women play in everyday Cuban politics.
The National Assembly of People's Power, which ends its mandate in the next few months, is, I believe, the second in the world with more women among its deputies. To me, that is an expression of the natural, normal promotion of women in our country, of the exercise of their rights, considering they are already the majority of the skilled labor force in the country, and in the Chancellery, in particular, in foreign affairs, women play a very important role.
In Mexico on Sunday, a demonstration called on by President Andrés Manuel López Obrador got underway, prior to him presenting the State of the Nation report. López Obrador said that the demonstration is not a response to the call made by the opposition 2 weeks ago for a march in favor of the National Electoral Institute, but a celebration of his movement, which has 70% approval. The march kicked off at around 9 a.m. to be followed by López Obrador's speech at the Zócalo Square. Thousands of people from different states of the country began arriving in Mexico City Saturday afternoon to take part in this march. Let's take a short break, but first, remember you can follow us on our TikTok account at TeleSUR English, in which you will be able to see news in different formats, news updates and more. Other stories coming up, stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. On Sunday, the president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro Moros, spoke about the future of the Bolivarian nation in light of the agreements recently signed in Mexico between his delegates and the representatives of the opposition groups. Maduro offered the statements during his speech at the commemoration anniversary of the Bolivarian military aviation and the 30th anniversary of the military rebellion of November 1992. The head of state, in addition to highlighting the contribution of the civic military union to survive what he defined as a war against the country, made a recount of the stages they have lived, in which he highlighted the prosperity of the times to come, placing his faith in the peace dialogues and in the Venezuelan people. In Venezuela, a cultural initiative seeks to establish a new Guinness Records on Sunday by registering the world's largest salsa rueda de casino in downtown Caracas. The leader of the event, Luis Llamo, assured local media that more than 2,000 dancers will be part of the staging. Llamo explained that the project, Retomando el Son, is dedicated to the study and promotion of this rhythm of Cuban origin, and the idea of the Guinness Record aims to raise support to declare son as intangible cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO. The institution's data registered that more than 10,000 Venezuelans are currently in training as dancers of this Caribbean rhythm. In Colombia, FARC dissident armed groups handed over to the Ombudsman's office 18 prisoners belonging to different communities in the Tumaco region. According to the Ombudsman, Carlos Camargo, personnel from this office went into one of the most remote rural areas of the said municipality to ease the release of the prisoners being held by the Iván Rios column belonging to the second Marquetalia faction of the FARC dissidents. Through a communique, the column of the dissidents confirmed the voluntary release of the prisoners and ratified the will for peace and respect for human rights, respecting the integrity and the life of the prisoners. This release of war prisoners follows President Petro's call for a total peace process in the country. In the United Kingdom, the Medical Association claims that some 2,000 people die every month due to the healthcare system collapse. The National Health Service warned that urgent and emergency care centers face considerable demand with record levels of assistance in the main departments due to the high levels of cases registered by COVID-19 and other emergencies that have resulted in the collapse of ambulance services. All of this amid difficulties in discharging thousands of patients. Data collected by the Royal College of Emergency Medicine suggests that the number of patients who have to wait over 12 hours in emergency departments before being admitted to hospitals has increased by 50% in 2022. Now we move on to other topics. In Italy, new numbers now reveal 7 deaths and 5 injured people after landslides on the island of Ischia. After a meeting of the emergency cabinet, the Minister of Civil Protection, Nella Mussuceni, announced the state of emergency, after which the government released €2 million for recovery actions. Authorities confirmed that the 5 people are still missing and the number of citizens displaced from their homes increased to 230. Reason why they are being relocated in hotels and family residences. In this regard, at least 200 members of civil protection and more than 100 volunteers are carrying out search, rescue, and cleanup work in the affected areas. From the Vatican City, the Supreme Pontiff of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis, expressed his solidarity with the victims of the landslide in the Italian island of Ischia.
Population of the island of Ischia affected by a flood. I pray for the victims, for those who are suffering, and for all those who have intervened in the rescue efforts.
In Indonesia, the number of fatalities increased to 321 after the quake that hit the province of Western Java last November 21st. The National Disaster Management Agency reported that over 7,000 people were injured, 545 of them seriously. The agency also reported that rescuers found 3 new bodies this Sunday, while assuring that they are still searching for 14 people who are still missing. Meanwhile, the government reported that the earthquake caused damage to over 62,000 homes and caused the displacement of more than 73,000 residents. And we have more news coming up after a final short break, so stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. On Monday, several Chinese regions present the adjustment plan of some COVID measures at the request of the national government. The government has requested that the fight against the disease should not be based on extreme measures that generate discomfort and uneasiness in the population. In response to these indications, the city of Zhengzhou, in the center of the country, clarified that the call to stay at home does not prohibit going out for medical emergencies, evacuations, or serious eventualities. In the south, in the city of Guangzhou, PCR tests were suspended for all residents, and the eastern government of Hebei issued a list of 16 recommendations that should not be implemented in quarantined buildings. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has assured his country's relations with Syria could improve in the near future. Confirming a meeting with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, mediated by the Emir of Qatar, the head of the state assured that there is no permanent rivalry in politics, while using the situation between Cairo and Ankara as an example of this. The same will continue at a ministerial level, although there will be more presidential meetings to end the differences. Turkey and Syria can return to normality, as in the words of the head of state, there are those who seek to take advantage of the rift between the Gulf countries. And we stay in the line. The government of Russia bets on dialogue to solve the disagreements with Turkey over Syria. During an interview to local media, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov admitted that there are disagreements between Russia and Turkey over Syria. He also stated that the level of relationships between Moscow and Ankara, as well as political wisdom, allow to solve these differences not through confrontation, but through negotiations. Tensions between Turkey and Syria rose after Ankara launched overnight between November 19th and 20th a wave of airstrikes against shelters, bunkers, and deposits of the Kurdish and Kurdish Iraqi militias near the Turkish border. On Sunday, the Iranian parliament passed a bill and grants adherence to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, founded in 2001, comprises 8 member states: China, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. Afghanistan, Belarus, Iran, and Mongolia have participated as observers, whereas Armenia, Azerbaijan, Cambodia, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Turkey have the status of dialogue partners. Now, following the summit held in September 2022, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization initiated the process of admitting Iran as a full member of the organization and granting dialogue partner status to Egypt, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. Let's enjoy sports news. Germany snatched a 1-1 draw with Spain in a Crunch World Cup Group E game on Sunday when Niklas Füllkrug lashed home at 83rd minute equalizer. Alvaro Morata's deft touch from Jordi Alba's cross had put Spain ahead just after the hour mark before Füllkrug's goal allowed Germany to maintain hope of qualifying from a tie group. However, Germany's fate still is not on their own hands. The Mannschaft need to beat Costa Rica in their final group game and hope that Spain versus Japan does not end in a draw. If it does, then it will come down to goal difference between Germany and Japan. There were chances for both sides in the final 10 minutes, but neither could find the winning touch in an ultimately bittersweet result for Germany at the All-Beige Stadium. And just as the hearts of millions of fans live the emotions of the Qatar 2022 World Cup, TeleSUR joins this sporting event with From the Field, a show that brings news, analysis, reviews, and more to our audience. Don't miss it. Our show airs 1 p.m. local time in Caracas and 12 p.m. New York. Remember, From the Field, only on TeleSUR. And we have come to the end of this news brief. But remember, you can find this and many others. You can find this and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. And also, if you feel so inclined, please join us on social media for all the latest news. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Gladys Quesada. Thank you for watching.